Xbox, Record This is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, Xbox, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com. Oh, hello. Daddy D. Wally here, and welcome to Xbox Record This, episode 9. To all our listeners out there, you're not going to believe it. We are only starting 20 minutes late this time. We were going to try and start at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It is 9:21. This might be the best we've done when it comes to trying to record on time. So joining me, as always, as the assistant to the co-host, is Chipotle Bear. Chipotle Bear, how are you?
I am doing great, Daddy D. Wally. Thank you for having me, and happy pre-4th of July to everybody. As we record, the 4th of July 2021 is tomorrow. So we're celebrating, the birth of America. So great to be here, excited, and we'll pass it over to our newest member of the crew. Go ahead, D. Wally.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, welcome to the show, Bubble Boy N7. Let me do that, assistant to the co-host. Let me introduce everybody.
I got it.
Now joining us, the assistant to the co-host, Bubble Boy N7, making a lot of noise over there and adjusting his camera. If you need to mute yourself, you can while you're doing all that. But welcome to the show, Bubble Boy. How are you?
Oh, I'm just doing fantastic. Happy to be here.
Glad you're here. You know what, Jose? I was just realizing that when you said that July 4th is tomorrow, is it sad that I completely forgot that the 4th of July is tomorrow? Like, is that bad? Like, as an adult with 3 small children, it just seems to me like, it's just the same day, but there's going to be loud fireworks that are going to possibly kill my old dog tomorrow evening. Like, I don't.
No, I think you get a lot of free passes with the 3 small children. But honestly, it's also it has been a busy couple of weeks for all of us, and so. And I don't know if you guys have big 4th plans. That might help you remember better. But if you weren't planning on it, you're just going to be at home with the dog and the kids, then no, it's not. It's not totally unreasonable. I will say that.
Okay. Yeah. My brother, shout out to Miso Pony. He's asked if we were doing anything, and I'm like, I don't know if we're doing anything. We might go to my aunt and uncle's pool, maybe barbecue. I feel like you have to barbecue, on the 4th.
Yeah. You got to watch Top Gun.
Burgers and
you got to buy stuff at the dollar store.
So, you know what? Speaking of the 4th of July, let's just roll into it. And for our non-American listeners, the 4th of July is a celebration of this great country that we live in when we declared our independence from those dirty Brits, but now we're all good with them. So, Chance, let's just skip what we're playing. We'll come after this little nice segment. Bubble Boy and 7 wanted to talk about his top 5 all-American games. So, Bubble Boy, let's hear what you have. Let's hear your 4th of July themed games here.
Yeah, and for the record, this is not like, I get Grand Theft Auto is probably the most all-American game, right? It's just about murder and the American dream, or maybe Red Dead Redemption and the Wild West. But what this is not that, right? What this list is games that have like the July 4th or some sort of super patriotic theme to them.
I was very interested to what you had to say, Chance, because the only game I can think of that's even remotely all-American and it's not a good game was Assassin's Creed 3. Is that on your list?
It is on the list.
Okay. Let's hear your list, please.
It's the bottom of the list, in fact. So number 5, Assassin's Creed 3, right? And with the Revolutionary War and as D. Wally put it, the Dirty Brits, that came in at number 5. Was I hyped for that game, and it just didn't follow through. Number 4 on there, Broforce. If you've never played Broforce, man, that was an indie game that came out back in like 2013. I think it might be like $2 on the Switch if you still happen to have a Switch. Absolutely worth every penny. All the characters that you have are like Rambo and Terminator and Chuck Norris and every like all-American hero you could think of, and it's all about like saving America over and over.
Is it not on Xbox?
I haven't seen it, but I've also never looked for it there.
Yeah, keep going.
Coming in at number 3 on the Super Nintendo, American Gladiators. Holy cow, was that game good. And that reminded me a little bit of games like Fusion Frenzy. When you were rolling in the balls Fusion Frenzy, the cover of Fusion Frenzy, that's the exact game that was modeled off of when they're rolling in the balls. So
it's amazing we haven't had a reboot of that show on TV.
Right?
As I think about it, we should have had that already. Anyway, continue.
Absolutely floored.
Let's be real. American Ninja Warrior is superior in every way, and
except
that was actually a rip from Japanese Ninja Warrior.
And if by every way you mean no way ever.
Oh gosh, are you a wrestling fan too, Chance? You were a wrestling fan when you were
Of course. In fact, for tomorrow, the barbecue I'll be going to, I'll be wearing my Hawaiian shirt from Roosevelt that Chipotle Bear bought me that has the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan on it. Number 2, and I meant to bring this up at our top achievements the other day, but BioShock Infinite. I beat that on whatever
great game,
I forget,
great game.
was it expert
mode
or 1776 mode? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
so that one came in at number 2, and then number 1, and this will segue into a thing later on in the episode, but because it was absolutely a good old days thing. Medal of Honor Allied Assault. And man, that was the first game I remember playing on a big screen TV. And that's when you do the storming the beach at Normandy. And it was funny because I looked it up today on my phone, and I was like, ooh, those graphics do not hold up, obviously. It was like from 2001.
But they were the coolest thing back then, man. I was
unbelievable.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm on Normandy. Is that the one on PlayStation 2? Is that right?
Yeah, had to have been.
I'm shocked. Are you sure it was Allied Assault? I thought it was. I'm gonna have to look this up now because I know exactly that game where you're storming the beach, where it's basically just Saving Pirate Ryan.
Yep,
amazing. I remember it just blew my mind. Okay, so there are some good games. Some Call of Duty. Call of Duty. You know what I actually liked, Chance, was Call of Duty World War II, the one that recently came out. I thought that was a good campaign. I thought the graphics were insane. That level where you go to the concentration camp reminded me so much of Band of Brothers. So. Okay, so those are some good All-American games. But let's close. Sorry to interrupt. Close out your thoughts.
No, yeah, that was it. And I just it was interesting because I found quite a few more games that were out there, and to probably most people's chagrin, Assassin's Creed still made the list. But Broforce, if you haven't checked it out,
any quick honorable mentions of other games? I'm just curious. Like I was trying to think of it. I was struggling.
Well, again. Yeah, and it's hard because there's so many different like magazines will count other things that I didn't like. So Saints Row the 4th is very patriotic, but not in a way that made sense to me. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, also popped up a lot. I never actually finished that game.
It was a good ending, dude.
You didn't like that one. Dude,
you
gotta beat those.
It bugged out, and it kept bugging out and bugging out and bugging out, and I was like, I don't have time for this anymore.
Well, now you do. It's on Game Pass and all the updates.
The only one I was going to add to that list before we move on was the Disneyland Kingdom game from NES, the original one. That was the only one I could think of. Was like All American Disneyland, baby. It was like impossible to beat. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh my God.
Moving on.
Slightly.
Broforce is not available on Xbox. It's only Windows, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. So might have to pick that up on PS4. I'm not sure why it hasn't come over to Xbox. But
again, if it's $2 or $3 worth every penny, if it's much more, wait. Yeah. But it's fun, and you'll love all the characters and the Army of the Dead, and I can't even think of them all right now. Gotcha. There's so many good ones. I
was gonna say though, as not as good of a game as Assassin's Creed 3 is, that literally is about the independence and the creation of the United States. So I liked some parts. When you were young, Connor, and you did that 6 scene where you finally fought those guys in the farm outside of what's his face's, before he started training. I thought that was probably the best part, and then it was all downhill from there. Well, boys, thank you for that, Bubble Boy. I like the all-American theme. To all our American comrades, happy 4th of July out there. I just wanted to talk about a little bit about what I've been playing first here. So, Chance, I beat the Control DLCs. I got every achievement, guys, 1390 out of 1390. Here are my thoughts on Control. Great gameplay and combat. Chance nailed it when he said you do feel like a superhero. And we're going to talk about Control a little bit later with some of the news, but that was definitely its strength. My favorite DLC from the two, the Foundation and the AWE, I was super excited to play the AWE, the Altered World Events, because it teases Alan Wake in there, like especially when they're advertising it. He's barely in there. You maybe hear him like 5 times, and you don't even. It's not even satisfying. He's just typing a story, and I think it's about Jesse. And I actually really like the Foundation because of the level design and overall the theme or the general look and aesthetic of the area. So I actually recommend the Foundation DLC. The AWE, chance so late, like in Alan Wake, you have to use a flashlight a bunch. Like you have to use a flashlight for everything.
Yeah, it's one of your main tools.
Yeah, exactly. So in AWE, you use a flashlight, but it's like sparingly to like just get rid of the darkness, and it's so lame how it's very minimal, and it was very disappointing to have all this Alan Wake tease, and then no Alan. You don't even really run into him, and I did make a clip, Chance, if you want to watch the end of it on my recent clips. Basically, they big time hint at Alan Wake. And so if they don't make a sequel, I would be shocked. They need to make a sequel to Alan Wake, guys. Alan Wake, amazing game. Jose already missed out. Just go buy it.
No, I downloaded it. I have it still to play.
I think they removed it from Game Pass.
I have it downloaded on my box right now.
Oh, okay. The next thing I played was the first level of the Sea of Thieves DLC. Did any of you guys play it? Not yet. Okay.
No, but I want to know. Like,
it's worth your time for sure. Okay.
I want to know.
So we've only done the first level, guys. This is what I wanted Sea of Thieves to be like. It's basically, it's like a campaign. It's like you go to a spot and it just starts this. I almost felt like I was playing a little bit of, like mini Skyrim, like in a controlled area. Like you're just exploring and doing these little objectives, and it's really cool. I don't want to spoil it. Like the first level, I don't want to say anything. I didn't even finish it. Like we're right at the end, I can tell though, but I don't want to. It's worth your time, you guys. It is so much fun. And I actually think I was playing with Snelling and Nico. I actually think I'm going to play it by myself now, just because I feel like it's more of a single player, like solo RPG experience now. Well, I shouldn't say RPG, but more of a exploration, like What Remains of Edith Finch, but there's combat chance. But it's kind of like that. Like it's spooky and you're not sure what's going on, and you could do these objectives. That's the one knock I'll say for it, is that I wish it was a little bit more, hand holding and pointed you more to the optional objectives. Like the optional objectives, you really have to go out of your way to like look and figure out. Like we were using a guide to figure out the objectives, but it's really, guys, it's really cool. And it's what I wanted from Sea of Thieves, was to make it feel like a first player. I keep saying RPG, but a first person, kind of like a Fallout or Skyrim. It felt like that. So definitely recommend it. I can't wait to play it. And the only reason I didn't continue on is because I want to finish. I should finish the level with those two guys. And then the last thing I played, so I went back. I had already beaten Doom Eternal. Fantastic game. One of my favorite games in the past year. I got the DLC. Yes, Chance, go ahead.
Is the 4K 120 update on there now?
Yes. Okay. So we're going to talk about that in the news too. But so here's the thing with Doom. I love Doom. Man, is this DLC hard. And I'm on normal. And I think I only beat the first level. My hands was sore from jumping and using the paddles and the triggers and everything. And I was like, this is not fun. Like the first game was fun because it was a little bit manageable. This one, they just take it to a whole nother level. You are constantly fighting zombies. And it's funny because at the beginning, you select your difficulty like you always do. And it says, the description, and it says, plus more demons because DLC. Like that, literally there's a sentence that says that as you're selecting your difficulty. And they're not lying, guys. I can't remember the name. It's like the Fallen Gods or whatever it is. And
Ancient Gods, right?
Ancient Gods, yeah. Ancient Gods Part 1 and Part 2. And so it's more Doom, and I love the movement in Doom, but at this point I'm just like, I might have to put this to easy because it's rough. So Jose, did you want to add on about Doom at all, or actually what did you play? Go ahead. What do you?
No, well I'll do both. So I love Doom. I'll probably go back at some point and play the DLC. But I felt like by the time I finished Doom Eternal, I was like, I need a little bit of break.
Exactly.
Just because it is truly punishing in a fun way, though, I guess. Gameplay where it's just like you
feel
know when you're walking the Zoom, you're going to be running around and
Yeah.
lots of death and lots of, trying different strategies, but it was super fun, cool story, and obviously beautiful. So I'm excited to see the upgrades, though I don't have the 120 FPS like Bubble Boy has, but Other than that, what I've been playing is just Mass Effect 3. It's been a super busy week for my family. We had a family wedding, so there was a lot of events this week. But I got to play Mass Effect 3 and definitely got at least to where I'm exploring now, and got reunited with kind of collecting the resources in the galaxies where now the Reapers are there. If you're looking for 20 galaxies, I like that system a lot. That was really cool. So I'm just enjoying that, and yeah, that's what I've been up to. Bubble Boy, how about you? What have you been playing? Because you're on vacation now, right?
Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, finally. Far Cry New Dawn. I started the other day after I finished Fortune Island DLC for Forza Horizon 4 about 6 years too late, 4 years, 5 years, who knows. And that was great. So much fun. I cannot wait for Horizon Mexico. That's just, oh my goodness. That's all I can say about that. And Far Cry New Dawn has been fun. This is going to sound weird. The map is, quote, small, which is something that I know D-Wally and Chipotle Bear both have liked a lot. Like, it doesn't feel huge. It's still massive. And I'm sure if you...
Is it still, like, I can't remember. I thought it was, is it the same size or, like, just slightly smaller?
There are places that you can't get to.
Yeah, you can't get to.
And then there's,
it's like the perfect. Yeah.
And then because of, I can spoil Far Cry 5 here, right? Because of what happens at the end of 5, there are places that are off limits so far in New Dawn. And it's another one of those games that's just constantly rewarding. We had a couple of, not anything to do, but like Cora was like, come outside and play with me. I'm like, oh, I just got to get this one thing. And then I get this one thing. And she's like, Daddy, where are you? I was like, oh, but there's just one more thing. Like, I did this, so that's fun.
Rewarding, the exploration. Mm-hmm. And have you gotten any of these special powers yet? Or am I spoiling that for you, Chance?
I have.
Okay.
I believe I can hold down B and get some extra super stealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, they grow on that, and I really liked it. So good games, you guys. I'm excited to hear what. Well, of course, I need reviews from Jose about Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Yeah, and Space Jam when it comes out. I'm still waiting for that too.
Oh, yep, Space Jam. And like I said, guys, I cannot recommend go play the Sea of Thieves DLC.
Yeah, it's
you can absolutely play it solo, and we'll talk more about Doom here in a second. So, guys, perfect segue. Let's get into the news. All right. We have a lot this week. I was really surprised at how much news was happening. There's actually some stuff that I think I skipped, but these were the ones that really stood out to me. Briefly, let's start out with the Xbox Live Gold and the free Games with Gold or Game Pass Ultimate. Here are your games, you guys. From July 1st through July 31st, you can download Planet Alpha. From July 16th to August 15th, you can download Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break. From July 1st to July 15th, Conquer Reload. Is that Reloaded? I don't even know.
Yeah, Reloaded.
And then the last one is Midway Arcade Origins. Jose, do you have any interest in any of these cool games that we get for free this month?
I actually do have a little interest in one, and it's the Conkers one. For those that don't know what Conkers is, it was a game that came out on the 64, I believe, was the first generation of it. And you're basically like a bad-mouthing bad squirrel, like who like smokes and drinks and womanizes, and it's kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie but for adults, if you remember Banjo-Kazooie. So you're in 360 world, there's like an evil person who is messing up the land and you're trying to save the land, and it was definitely very inappropriate, but I think I was like in middle school when it came out, and so it's just at that age where like you just love all that stuff. And it was a very cool game for me when I was a kid, and I played. They made a sequel that was not very good, and I actually think this is that sequel. They're putting that on there, but so I might check it out if I get a little bit of time. But it's one of those where like even though it's cute and furry, you really can't play it around your kids. It's out there. So that's the only one that I even know.
Did you play it?
No.
Any of the Conquerors?
I don't. No,
people
I don't
like
think
there's
so.
like a weird following for this, Jose. There's a lot of people like, where's Conquer's Fur Day?
Bad Fur Day was the first one. Yeah, that's right. So Reloaded is the second.
Was that good?
I mean, at the time, again, the big allure of it was that it was like inappropriate, that it was like fart jokes and smoking and sex and stuff.
Was it like Leisure Suit Larry inappropriate?
I never played Leisure Suit Larry. Like, there's no nudity.
Oh, for the record, I don't think anybody played Leisure Suit Larry. I think it was.
No, but it's fun. But I mean, the problem is, I think I played a version of this that came out on maybe Games Pass at one point or something, and it just doesn't hold up. I mean, it was not a high graphic fidelity game. It was, it did well, but again, when did 64 come out? I mean, that was a long time, dude, and just like it's hard to have that come back. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I'll play it or not.
Chance, do you have any interest in these free games?
No, and ask me if I care. Like,
yeah, I mean, when you have Game Pass,
I just downloaded Doom Eternal from my phone to my Series X.
There we go, guys.
Literally don't have to. You could pay me to play those games, and I'd probably say,
no,
I don't have time.
Not worth the time.
Yeah.
Well, perfect segue, Chance. Doom Eternal, that was the next news story I did want to bring up, and you did mention this earlier. So this is coming off the Xbox Wire. Update 6 available now. Experience next-gen upgrades and new content in Doom Eternal's Update 6. So basically, here are the optimized for Xbox Series X and S. Update 6 offers up to 3 visual modes to let you choose the experience you want, from realistic lighting to high-resolution graphics or even silky smooth frame rates. Give me those frame rates, boys. Here's the full breakdown. Xbox Series X, you can go performance mode, which is 1080p at 120 frames per second. Balanced mode is 4K at 60 FPS. Ray tracing is a little bit below 1800p at 60. On Series S, performance is 1080, 120. So, sorry, I messed that up. Performance mode, did I say 1080? Performance mode in the Xbox Series X is actually 1800 at 120. Well, yeah. So almost 4K. And then balanced mode on the Series S is 1440 at 60 FPS. So that's pretty impressive, actually. I have been playing Chance on balanced at 21, 4K, 60.
That's what I was going to ask. What is that, because you can't play 120 FPS?
Correct. I am not a baller like you. I do not have a 4K HDMI 2.1 TV that can do.
So is that should I do FPS performance mode then, though?
For Doom, yes. I mean
the
it's movement
fast,
is huge.
Right?
It's fast,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think you'd be fine with 60. I like 4K. I like the extra detail. And somebody shut that cat up. And then ray tracing. I did do ray tracing just to see it because I haven't seen too many ray tracing games. I didn't really notice the reflections as much. I don't know. I wanted to hear your experience with that on Watch Dogs. Like, it's cool. And I also tried it on Control, but like, I don't think it's cool enough to where I'm like, I need the reflections, you know?
And here's what I'll say, that when you notice it, it's unbelievable, right? And it's so cool. And you could sit there, and I think of it as like, I wish I could have put a video of them together for a party and have that on in the background, right? For playing the game, like, especially a game like this, or I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I played the other ones, and I know what it's going to be. You don't have time to notice some of that kind of stuff, right? Only every once in a while. And so I assume I'm going to play for the most part on performance mode just because I can. Yeah. And that makes me feel better as a human being and a person. And probably check out the balanced mode as well, just to see some more of those visuals. Because then I think back to Destiny 2, and there were times in Destiny's super fast shooter too, right? Like, I had to just stop and was in awe.
Destiny's gorgeous. Yeah.
I need to look at this, and I'm going to stop playing for a minute.
And that's
looking.
You're right. And the only sorry, Jose. The only time I noticed the reflection was actually when I was stopped and I killed everything, and I was pushing a button. Yeah. And I could see myself reflecting on the glass. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I'd rather see more details. And sorry, go ahead.
No, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that's the only problem with the ray tracing, is like when you're in the middle of action, you just don't have time to stop and enjoy it, even though it is there and it does look spectacular. Doom. Yeah, but most of Doom is just so like constantly running, constantly jumping, like you can't appreciate that. Not to say you shouldn't go in that mode, and I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, the reality of it is that you just don't have time to enjoy it like that.
Chance, I would definitely check them all out, but I mean, no matter what, you're going to be at 60 plus, so that's amazing, and you're going to get high details. So I love Doom. I can't wait for you to play it and hear back on what you think of it. The DLC is tough though, guys. So
and
love Doom, big fan.
I've just been waiting for this too. It was like the same thing with that A Plague Tale with Ashley. I was like, I just knew there was something coming around, right? I was like, that game's gonna go on sale for like $5 in a couple of months. You just wait, and I waited. Same with this one. I was like, they're gonna do some 120 FPS or something. You just wait, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for you to play it. Doom, like, one of my favorite games. And I wasn't even a Doom fan as a kid. I always thought they were kind of scary, actually, when I was a kid. And I wasn't very good at them, you know. So I was blown away. And I love the beginning where, like,
yeah, the music makes it so
you're walking
good,
through,
dude.
and you got those guns, and he's just like all badass and everything. And you know, so everybody go play Doom immediately. Next story, and this is for Chapo and Chance. Actually, you guys are both big fans. So apparently, our old friend Jeff Grubb, this is over on VentureBeat, GamesBeat, he's basically confirming that Electronic Arts and Star Wars Battlefront 2 co-developer EA Motive is working on a new Dead Space game. So, Jose, tell me what you're thinking that it's going to be confirmed. Apparently, it's going to be more of a remake, kind of like Resident Evil 2 style. How erect are your nipples right now?
They're pretty significant. It's pretty cold in here too. I'll be honest.
Full mast.
No, I read the article. This was the first one I went to, and you posted the news. I was super psyched. And the first question I had is whether this is what we're going to see on the 22nd of this month when EA holds their conference. I think it's separate, which actually excites me even more. Because I think he's saying that they're going to do a remake of the original games, which is what I do want, even though they're currently on Games Pass. You can go play them right now. They're great, but I would love to see them with updated graphics and stuff, and maybe even a few plot twists and stuff I think would be cool. But also...
Yeah, I think they could add a little bit to the story in the first.
For sure. Or more collectibles, or just, you know, some additional stuff I think would be cool. But there's really if they're truly talking about a brand new game, so like a story that has not been told, that also I think is really, really cool. You know, like many of the series we talked about, it's hard without it. Or I should say, it could be hard if the main character is not in it in the way that like Shepard wasn't in Andromeda, right?
Yeah. What's his name again? Isn't it like
Isaac? Isaac is the main
Isaac,
guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if Isaac's not in this one, that doesn't mean it's gonna be a bad game, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with the universe. Like, is it they're gonna just basically kind of retell the same story, and that maybe that will still be awesome. I don't know, but either way, definitely just excited to see this coming out for new gen stuff, and excited to hear that the IP is not dead. Bubble Boy, what do you got?
One of my most favorite things about that was their dynamic HUD, or like the un-HUD. I don't know if dynamic quite does it, where you could see your life on his back, you could see
and
the
it didn't
ammo.
stop either,
and
right?
that
Things
was
were still happening.
Yeah. And I can't wait, because I trust and believe that they're gonna do something next level like that again that we don't know about, because that was, from what I can remember, that was the first game that did anything like that, right? And then so many others were like, oh, we need a different kind of HUD, or we can do some cool things. Well, but that was how many, I'm saying, I mean, Division was way after the first Dead Space. Cool. So I'm excited. I think they'll do something kind of cool and unique and different again, and can't wait to see what it is.
Yeah, and having just played these last year for the first time, I would be perfectly happy if it was just like Resident Evil 2. I don't even think they need to continue the story. I'd almost want it to be like a remake, reboot, because the first game, that's like one of the best games ever, that as far as survival horror. So cannot wait to play Dead Space. I'm really excited for this. EA also said that that was one of the other stories I kind of skipped, is there's not going to be any Dragon Age and not any Mass Effect. So that kind of would suck because of my Mass Effect multiplayer prediction, but we'll see. And that is on the 22nd, so Chance and I will be back to work really full-time in person at that point. So can't wait for that. Next story. And this is from, you know what, guys? I was thinking about this. You know who we need to reach out to have on the podcast? Is our old friend, Wario64. No. Have you, you know.
I love Wario64. The gaming deals, dude. Let's get him on here.
And he's a serious gamer. I'm wondering if anyone's reached out to him. Nobody knows what he looks like. He's just kind of like this mysterious man who somehow posts all these amazing deals and gets all these Amazon, what's it called, affiliate links and stuff like that. I think we should reach out to Wario and get him on the podcast. He's almost has 1 million followers, you guys. Did you realize that? I remember I was following him at like, I don't even know if he had 100,000. He's up to like 1 million, obviously, for PS5.
Trying to take down The Rock.
Xbox, yeah, and Xbox Series, deals and stuff like that to see when they're in stock. But I think Wario would be a great. So Wario, if you're listening, which I know you are, please reach out to me. Hit me up in the DMs, and we're going to get you on the show. So Wario 64. This is. I should just get all of my. Not only does he provide all the deals, he's providing all this gaming news. Okay, so Remedy signs a co-publishing deal and development agreement with 505 Games for a multiplayer spin-off game of the award-winning Control, 4-player co-op. And then there's a new game codenamed Condor, will be available for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series, but built on Remedy's Northlight engine. So basically, on the last thing he said was, so here's what I think about the Control multiplayer. I can see it. Actually, Chance, what do you think about a multiplayer game with Control's powers? We'll say don't give away too many of the powers, though.
Yeah, and I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it, and it's possible that it's just because I'm still thinking about Sea of Thieves, Doom Eternal, trying to, there's too much. There's too much now. I don't know, and so this is like, that could be really cool, and maybe if down the road everybody jumps on, I'll happily get back in, but I'm not.
Yeah, I think the reason why this just speaks to Control's combat being its greatest strength is that they're going to make a multiplayer game from it. And that really, I completely agree that the combat was the best part. And they're supposedly making another Control game. What do you think about that, Chance? Would you rather see another Control, a sequel to it, or more exploration on that? Or
no, I'd rather see Alan Wake.
Okay. Or what about this? They combine.
We're crossover.
See a crossover, a full game with playing as maybe Jesse and maybe playing as Alan Wake. I don't want to spoil too much about the ending of the AWE DLC, but can I spoil it for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to play it.
So basically at the end, it zooms on a computer and it says Bright Falls, and Bright Falls is where Alan Wake took place, and it's flashing like there's this alarm going off, and somebody's talking to Jesse, and there's like, director, there seems to be an event going on at Bright Falls, and she's like, what are you talking about? That nothing's happened there for a while, and then she's like, well, what's strange is that it's set 2 years into the future, the date for the AWE. So I don't know if they're planning on having this game, which could come out in a couple of years, but basically that's what it's saying. It's saying there's an event going on in Bright Falls. It's 2 years into the future. That's where Alan Wake took place. And she even mentions an agent that's out there that's mentioned in the game. So do you think, Chance, we're going to get an Alan Wake either sequel in 2 years or a Control sequel with Alan Wake in the game? What do you think?
I hope it's just plain Alan Wake. Sorry. And I liked Control. But
I know it's not Alan Wake.
Yeah, right.
And sorry, Jose, you haven't played these two, so that's why I know it's hard for you to contribute here. But Alan Wake is a special game, especially the episodic nature of it. Chance, I thought that was awesome. It's a great way to break it up. The story is. You can follow it, unlike Control, where I still have no idea what the Federal Bureau of Control is and the stupid house and how Jessie was there and her brother. Like, I'm excited, Chance, and I wish go watch the clip. It's really cool. It's like one of my most recent clips, and if something doesn't happen with Alan Wake, I'd be shocked. Yeah. But I remember reading in here they basically said it's a Control sequel though. So I don't know, man. I don't know if we're gonna get that. Why would they tease it so much?
I don't know. When was the last time you replayed Alan Wake?
I couldn't tell you. I wanted to
because Chapeau, you need to.
I did all the DLC.
If it holds up, because man, and I'm still shocked you haven't played it because it is such a.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled. Game. It's just you guys keep throwing. My list keeps growing.
Dude, you need to play. Jose, you need to play.
I'd play it before Cyberpunk.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to play
and I want to play the freaking Sea of Thieves one too, though. So I'm now Cyberpunk's pushed back to like August at this point, basically.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
I know.
Here's the thing, because Cyberpunk will take you, and I don't think you'll just do straight main story and go through. it's just not the kind of game that you do that with. You could, and it'd be 20, 30 hours, but you'll take your time. Again, I really liked it. We don't need to rehash that, but Alan Wake you could beat in a decent amount of time.
It's very straightforward, and worth it, man. And I did all the DLCs for Alan Wake. I got every achievement. I did the
American Nightmare, you son of a...
I got all the achievements in American Nightmare. I
tried for an entire summer to get that last one.
Oh, well, don't you survive a bunch of waves or whatever? It was ridiculous.
And I never got it. And I remember thinking that was the moment, because D-Wally always kind of pwned us in multiplayer stuff. But I was like, maybe he really is better than me at this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Thanks for the kind words there, but boy. And to all our listeners, if you haven't played Alan Wake, please play Alan Wake. Especially, I know those F-boys probably haven't played it. Guys, go play Alan Wake. Amazing. Worth paying $20 easily if it's worth $60, but please play that. So I'm excited for the guys over at Remedy. I don't really care about this multiplayer game, I'll be honest, but I would play the sequel to Control, especially if it's some sort of crossover. Even if it wasn't, I would. But give us Alan Wake 3, you cowards. Next story. This comes from another big fan of the show, you guys. Xbox's Larry Erb. I think he's not Xbox Lives anymore because Xbox Live is like the Xbox network. But starting today, and this is a big one, Jose's been asking for this. Xbox Cloud Gaming is available to all Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members with Windows 10 PCs and Apple phones, tablets, via browser across 22 countries. So it's here, boys. If you have iOS, you can officially stream your games through the browser. Jose, I'm interested to see, did you give this a shot? Or were you all talk? And oh my gosh, I'm shocked.
Thank you, I guess. Thanks,
jerk. This is why I hired him, you guys. He's getting a raise.
Yeah,
assistant
anything above zero is a raise, I guess. No, anyway, I did try it. To be fair, it was only today. Like I said, we had a wedding this weekend. I was up till I got home at 12:30 last night. So I did try it today. It works pretty awesomely. I tried it on my iPad Pro, and I tried Psychonauts, the original one, because I actually started playing without Penelope a couple weeks ago. I wanted to play through it, and obviously with it coming out in August, the sequel. But man, it loaded up pretty instantly and was pretty awesome. And it definitely. I also tried Forza just on a whim because I was like, that's gonna be pushing some stuff, and it was definitely It got a little pixely at times. The issue I was running into is I was having trouble pairing my controller. And so I didn't, and because it was doing other stuff, I just need to work on that. I think I need to update my controller. I think that's what the issue is. The one thing I will say to all the fans listening out there, if you're going to try it, I didn't find this easily. The way you play it is actually just by going to xbox.com/play. That's how you get there. I couldn't find that for a while. And then once you're there,
on Apple devices,
yeah, because you have to do it through a browser. And you can, there are instructions where you can actually make a shortcut in your browser so it will look like an icon on your iPad, and then you can jump in whenever you want. But I would tell you, when I would click a game, it was probably maybe 15 seconds before I was actually in the game. So it says setting up your stuff. It does still say that it's in beta. And I attributed some of the pixelation and stuff to the idea that it was brand new, literally brand new. And so if all these people are jumping on servers worldwide, it's going to put strain on that stuff. So I'm going to be patient while I need to. But overall, really excited, man, especially I'm going on vacation in a couple of days. I'm excited to kind of tempt it on the road and see how it goes. And that'll be cool. So I'll tell you more as I test it over the next week or so.
What I've found is it's more about your Wi-Fi connection than anything. And if you have a decent Wi-Fi connection, that's what's going to do. And then, of course, the game that you choose. I talked a while ago. I'm not playing Doom Eternal on there. Right now I'm playing Darkest Dungeon, and it's great. And I'm sure Psychonauts is another one that isn't going to be machine breaking or anything.
No, and I would say, as far as lag goes with the controller, because I've seen some stuff on the internet, people being moving the stick, and then you see it, react really slowly after. What really helps, and what I want to try to get, is that if you can plug your controller directly into your device, I feel like that eliminates way more lag than doing the Bluetooth to the phone and then the streaming from the your Wi-Fi or cell service. So I would highly recommend plugging in the controller to whatever you're playing, whether it be your PC or your iPhone.
Yeah, that was my next plan, to try that too, because I thought that same thing.
Yeah. So I did notice that when I was using that TCL phone that I bought, it performed. I barely noticed lag because I was directly plugged into the phone with. I got the Razer Kishi as well to try it out with. But then when I tried to just use my controller with the Bluetooth, I was like, this doesn't feel as good. So Chance, sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, what about that backbone? If I had an iPhone, I'd have gotten that already. Like
exactly,
that looks. It's a switch. It turns your iPhone into a Switch with Xbox games. Like that's perfect.
And that's the one I want to try to pick up next. And I think it hadn't been released yet, or it still might not be released. So
yeah, I didn't see because I don't have an iPhone, so I kind of.
I remember it was. Yeah. Go ahead and look it up, Jose. I think it was like on pre-order right now on Microsoft site. I think that's the only place it was available to. Was the Microsoft Store online. So I definitely want to try that Backbone. I like playing on Switch, Chance, but I prefer just holding a controller. Like when I was playing with, like, I don't know if there's a way you can directly. I tried to do a Xbox, what is that, USB-C or whatever it is now, directly into the iPhone. I don't know if iOS has a way to connect it to where it works, but I liked holding a controller, but I'm interested in trying the Backbone. Did you see?
Jose, it does look like it's available right now for order. It's $100. You can just search Backbone controller. It's playbackbone.com/products. Will show up there. And it's obviously designed for this whole system. It looks cool. I mean, I guess the problem I'm with you, Dan, is like, I actually want to play on my iPad, and obviously this controller is not for my iPad. I'd rather hold the controller and stuff. So, but I'll try the wired and see how it goes.
So maybe, Jose, tell me if you find if that'll even work, if it'll let you do the wire controller into the iPad. So I'm interested. Again, another iOS issue.
It's not an issue yet. You're assuming it's going to be an issue.
Plug it directly in an Android. I know you could do it. I know, guys. Whatever. We're gonna move on. Next story. So that's exciting for all. So sorry. In conclusion, the streaming works. Yeah. It works really well, especially on Android at this point, like Chance. And if you can, my biggest piece of advice would be connection is important, but I feel like plugging in your controller virtually eliminates any kind of lag you'd have. So that's pro tip. Plug in your controller directly into your device. Next story comes, again, this comes from Video Games Chronicle. It's good to think of Elder Scrolls 6 as still in a design phase, says Todd Howard. Game director says the upcoming RPG will benefit from the new Starfield tech. So basically, guys, our good old friend Todd Howard over at Bethesda is basically telling us it's going to be a long time before we see the Elder Scrolls 6. Why they teased this game at E3 2018 is insane to me, and I didn't even realize it was 2018 when they did the original brief trailer. So basically, Howard says the new Starfield technology, Creation Engine 2, is built for both games. It's like a new tech base. The vast majority of our development work right now is on Starfield, but everybody works on everything. So the projects kind of intertwine. I think it's good to think of the Elder Scrolls 6 as still being in a design phase, but we're checking the tech. It's going to handle the things we want it to do. Is this going to handle the things we want it to do in that game? Every game will have some new suites of technology, so Elder Scrolls 6 will have some additional additions to the Creation Engine 2 that this game is going to require. So I remember we saw yet another tease in the Starfield announcement, but I want your predictions right now, boys. When is the Elder Scrolls 6? When do you think this game is coming up? If Todd is basically saying it's still in design, they're still learning from the new engine and Starfield. This makes me excited for Starfield because I feel like they're really pushing the tech, and hopefully we're going to see a much improved game. So, Bubble Boy, what are your thoughts on this whole story?
So they've already said there's going to be they're going to do like the Xbox One Series X, right? Their version of this. I think it's going to be
no. It's full. These are full series games. You can only stream this if you have your old consoles.
No, what I'm saying is I think there's going to be this game is going to come out when the next like iteration of the Series X comes out. Does that make sense?
So like the One X for Xbox One, then Xbox One X. So you're thinking the mid-generation refresh.
Yes, that might be like a smaller one, or the S that is all digital but still is powerful, something like that. I think that's when it's going to come. And I, for one, am more than happy to wait. Make it perfect. Make it great.
Think how long you give me a date?
2020, a year. 2024.
So
fall. And they keep drop. Sorry, Chipotle. I think they keep dropping these hints because they want us to remember that they haven't given up on it, right? And I'm okay with that. Like it's like, hey, we're still there. We're not. It's happening. Just put on your patience pants.
Go ahead, Jose. What do you think of chances?
So that was the year I was thinking. I was thinking holiday 24 was what I was going to guess. But I have a completely different logic. I actually disagree with Bubble Boy that there's going to be even a system mid update. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if you actually listened to that interview that Phil Spencer did on Unlocked about their 500th episode in 20 years in Microsoft. But they asked that question. They said, "Are you going to do an update?" And they were asking actually about the supply chain issue. That's where it came up. They were talking about like right now you're struggling to get boxes out to people. Like everyone that's being produced is being sold because of supply chain stuff, and they're working as fast as they can to make more. And so they said, "Are you already thinking about a mid-gen update?" And he said, "Honestly, right now we're focusing on the idea that we want these are going to be around for a long time." He was talking about the X and the S, saying that like that's where our focus is. We're not even worried about that other stuff. So I don't think there's going to be a refresh, but I do like your prediction of the 2024. My logic is just simply if Starfield comes out 2021, right, and you got to give it time to, or 2022, right? Yeah, so 2022, and then you give it 2 years to build its following, to do some DLC stuff, right? And then we're talking about, okay, now that's 2 years to develop Elder Scrolls 6, assuming this engine has been created in a way that's really helping them build the game, assuming they have all the story ready to go. I think it's a good prediction, to be honest with you. We disagree how it's going to get there.
Yeah, and I do remember him saying he's confident with the hardware and that they feel really good about the Series X. I disagree with you, Jose. I think he's saying that for now. I do think we're going to see a mid-cycle refresh, and my prediction is we're not going to see this game until 2025, and with your new consoles. So wait, so it launched in 2020? I don't know. Oh man.
Chance when in 2024?
Wait. So wait.
You said fall.
He said fall. It'll be like 11/11, just like all the other Skyrim dates and Starfield. So we got the Xbox One X in 2017, right?
Yes.
I believe that's when it came out. So the original console came out in 2013. So that's 4 years. So 2020. That 2024, I think Phil Spencer was just saying that, like, yeah, we're confident in a product, and they should be, and it's going to last a while, but I definitely think they're going to do a revision and a refresh, and I would hope that they do an actual, like, Xbox Series X with no disc drive. I think that would be a smart play, just like the digital edition of the PS5. But if we see this game at 2024, I will be shocked, and I'll be happy, but I'll be shocked. So thank you. Shout out to Todd Howard. Big fan of the show. You're welcome on XRT anytime. So if you'd like to come by, please send me a DM. Next story, and kind of closing out, and I saved the best for last. Oh man, our good old friend. This also is coming from GamesBeat, Jeff Grubb. He's just on top of it. Shout out to Jeffy G out in Highlands Ranch, another Colorado boy. Hideo Kojima's deal with Xbox reaches key milestone. Hideo Kojima and Microsoft have signed a letter of intent that states the two parties intend to work out the details on a publishing agreement for a new Xbox game, according to sources familiar with the matter. This is a key step in the negotiations between Metal Gear Solid creator and the Xbox company. This signifies that both parties have agreed to a generalized deal while the lawyers continue hashing out the finer points. I saved the best for last because I'm genuinely interested to hear both of your thoughts on our that video game genius Hideo Kojima, and I can't wait to get an Xbox game by Hideo Kojima, written by Hideo Kojima, created by Hideo Kojima, probably starring Hideo Kojima, produced by Hideo Kojima. Chance, I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Are you, let's start with this. Are you excited that Hideo Kojima is creating an Xbox exclusive game?
Who? Was that the guy that
Hideo Kojima.
Was he? Did he have something to do with
Hideo Kojima?
Metal Gear 5?
Hideo Kojima.
Was he? He did something in there, right? He was like the last.
He was in his own game.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, I am. I mean, it'll be great. I, for one, liked Death Stranding. I thought it got a lot of unwarranted backlash. I liked it. I am excited. This picture is perfect. That I don't know if Jeff Grubb picked it himself or not, but he's just got this like shit-eating grin on his face of like, I will confuse you and you'll still buy my game.
Yes, exactly. Chance, can I ask you, what did you like about Death Stranding? I think that's still coming to Xbox, by the way. I maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it
might be part of this deal
because Sony. I don't know what that deal was. Who knows exactly? It might be, which is a good point. But what did you like about it? Because all I've heard is that
yeah, I'll tell you.
You're delivering packages.
So it was beautiful. It was really, really pretty. The gameplay was fun and varied. It's not just delivering packages. It starts out that way, but it's not. And it's funny that we just talked about Skyrim because everybody's been in that Skyrim where they're like, no, I can go straight up this mountain. I'm sure of it. And if you just would have gone the long way around, you would have spent like 10 minutes less, right? And you're trying to get up it. There is a little bit of that, and that can be kind of fun. The story was fantastic. It's a little out there. Wait, hold on. I'm getting a lot of eyebrows.
How was that fun? You're like, I was trying to climb a mountain. You like go back to the Breath of the Wild argument.
I had to spend 15 minutes going the other way because I fell. It sounds so rewarding.
Yeah, and Pony and all his buddies who never fast traveled were just like, yeah, no, that's just how you play. That's a small piece of the game, and once you get towards further on in the game and you're a lot more powered up, it makes that trek so much
you can
more
deliver more packages,
right? Like anytime
faster.
you fail, and yeah, sure, it's good. It's worth trying. If it comes and it's $40, you should buy it, and it'll.
If
be
it comes to
worth your
Games
time.
Pass, I will play it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way I'm playing Death Stranding. And I have a PS4 Pro. I could easily play it.
So, and then the other thing that this story made me think of, and it's a total tangent, but I'm like, oh, it's a good tangent, is that the lawyers and letter of intent and the news with the NCAA stuff, and we might be getting NCAA football back, baby, right? Like,
yeah,
that was the first thing I thought when I saw this. Yeah. I didn't even think about Hideo Kojima.
Chance, would you want it to be a game more like, let's say, Death Stranding, or more like Metal Gear, or more like Silent Hills tease that we saw? What would you want from Hideo? Or something completely new and just random?
NCAA Football 2022, written by Hideo Kojima.
Starring
Hideo Kojima. Broadcast and color commentary.
Do you get to play as the water boy delivering the water to the players?
He's the water boy. He's the head coach.
He's also
the nacho guy.
Everything. He's everything. Answer the question. Do you want something? I'd want something new. I don't know.
You know, that Metal Gear just got so
Wait, can I ask you this? Let me interrupt you. Is he overhyped? Like, let's be real. Like, I love Metal Gear, but when was the last good Metal Gear game? 5 had great gameplay.
4,
but the story was
yeah, I liked 4 a lot
too. The story in 4 was incredible.
And a lot of people don't like 4, and I loved 4. I loved how it all came together. Yeah, I love 4. But like for me, 1 and 4 are like the pinnacle Hideo Kojima games. Other than that, I'm like, why does he get so much praise? Can someone? Jose, what do you think?
I don't know why he gets so much praise. But here's what I would say about the deal. So I think what's cool is that when we talked about starting this podcast, we talked about the idea of why people crap on Microsoft and they say Sony's better and Sony has the exclusive and Sony has this. And Hideo Kojima is a huge part of that that following. And so I think the fact that he can again, he's not going to be exclusive, and they said that specifically in the article. He's not exclusive to Microsoft. This is pending a deal where he will make something that will be available on the Xbox, which I think is a huge step towards dismantling that argument that Xbox doesn't have those kind of exclusives. So I think that's really cool. I also think, in the same vein, I don't know if you heard recently that there was a story about two studios signed exclusivity deals with Sony, right? And then the question came up of, are you doing this because of Games Pass? Are you competing with Microsoft? And they said publicly no. They said this is not in any way to compete with Microsoft. Like, we're just doing this because we want to. That may be true, but I think the reality is that they're really feeling pressure from Games Pass. And so I think the fact that while this is happening, and not necessarily related to Games Pass specifically, but for Microsoft to pull this in whether you like Kojima or not, or whether you think his games are overhyped or underhyped or whatever it is, the fact that he is still a big name, right? It's like The Rock. It doesn't matter if you like him or not like him. That dude is still one of the richest men on the planet right now, right? It's the same idea. So I think it's a good thing overall. And to be fair, and as much as I poke fun about Death Stranding, maybe it is a really cool game. I do trust Shady's taste in games. We often share a lot of the same games, so I really will play it someday. I have a backlog already. If it was free, I would at least try it. I don't know if I'd finish it, but I would love to know what it's about, so I could accurately make fun of it instead of just guessing when I make fun of it.
Yeah, good points. I agree. I would like to try it, but again, it has to be on Game Pass for me to play it. I completely agree, though. It's a great point. Yes, this is a big name, and Xbox getting something from Hideo Kojima specifically for them, that it should be celebrated. And I like his games, but I'm still confused at why everyone thinks Hideo Kojima is just like this. And the whole, what's his name? Jeff Keighley, always having him at like the Video Game Awards, and like always there's this dedicated time to Hideo Kojima. It's like a running meme. But anyway, Chance, what were you gonna say? Sorry, I interrupted you earlier about what kind of game you want from him.
I still just think that OG Metal Gear 1, right? Metal Gear Solid, when you had to take the controller out and put it in the different port,
blew my mind.
That dude, and at the time I didn't know who he was, right? I was like, there's a director of the video game? What were we, 13, 14? I don't know. That was mind-blowing. And still to this day, I don't think anything has ever been done that will compare to that. Where you had to think that outside of the box.
Yeah. And that was
and that's all it takes sometimes. Like, think about, like, Jose, that was a perfect analogy, movie careers, right? Like, you could make one really good movie and then trash for the rest of your life, but companies will still pay you, and producers will still pay you. Oh, I'll be the one to bring so and so's career back, right? Like, and then too, I think it's his is an international following.
That's a great point,
right? So where video games are massive in other places that aren't just America, he is Japanese, right? So Japanese people are gonna love him, obviously, and dude's got swag. Look at that picture.
He does have something. Chance, if you had to pick one Metal Gear as your favorite, what is it?
One, and that might be a cop out, but it's not.
Jose,
I would say 4. I really thought 4 was groundbreaking, and it was the PS3, right? Is when it came out, and it was like really pushing the limits of that system at the time. And I'll never forget. Do you remember the opening scene was that story about the octopus camouflage? And I was like, did I get the wrong game? Like, I was so confused, and then it made sense later on. But it was really good, dude. I thought Metal Gear 4 was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey,
They're great.
But who made that game, though?
Hey, fun fact. Do you know what his net worth is? Any guesses without searching it?
What?
I just looked it up.
I don't want to know.
Is it in the B's?
Tell me.
Is there a B?
No, you guess. I want your guesses. Tell me what your guesses. What's his net worth right
now? So hold on, because Seinfeld and Larry David were worth like $700 million, I want to say. So I'm going to say
undervalued.
800.
What is it, Jose? I don't want to.
$800?
$800 million.
What about you, D.Y.? What do you got?
I don't care. Tell me the dang number.
It's only $30 million. Only 30 million, right?
Wow. Thank God.
I was surprised. I thought it'd be more. I honestly thought it'd be more, but $30 million.
That's right where I would hope
Good for him.
Be. Respect to Hideo. The games are incredible, and like Chance said, that Psycho Mantis fight and Sniper Wolf and that whole acting of that first game, incredible. Like, I still remember it. I would love a remake, and if PlayStation got that somehow, where they like remade Metal Gear 1, I'd be buying a PS5 the next day just for that. So I do love the games. 5, I feel like Konami was like, dude, you need to finish this game. Let's just get this out. They cut them out and like on the story. Fantastic gameplay. The best out of all of them, I feel like. But exciting news nonetheless. Let's see what this turns out to be. That is all of the news, you guys. I just wanted to bring up... we're going to bring on a little discussion that I know is going to mostly apply to me and Chance here because Jose's just here to party.
I'll be back.
This week, guys, Courtney Morgs brings the heat with another great discussion topic. He says, hey, XRT bros, I just noticed Daddy Diwali is over 227,000 gamer score. As crazy as that is, I wanted to ask you guys this. Do achievements or trophies encourage you to play games, or does it deter you from playing games? Ultimately, what are your thoughts on achievos and trophies? Good for gaming? Bad? Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thanks, boys. Jose, since you could care less about
let me go first.
Trophies,
it'll be quick, and then you guys can hash it out. I have 2 points on this. To answer Cordy Morrick's question, shout out to Cordy for writing into us. I don't think they deter me or encourage me to play games. Like it doesn't really hurt me either way. What I would say is I think they were overall a great addition to the ecosystem of games, because you think about before them. So if you didn't know, like the PS2, right, the Xbox original, like you just played games because you like games, and you finished them sometimes and you didn't finish them sometimes, and that's just how it was. And I can remember distinctly the first time that I played a game and you hear the ding and this thing popped up that said like unlocked or whatever it was that you got. You were like, oh, that's cool. You like to show achievements, right? And it's obviously built out of this much bigger system that you guys are going to talk about. I think that's been a net gain for the whole gaming industry as a whole. It's been another way for friends to talk crap to each other, as I'm sure is about to happen. So I think overall it's been a net benefit. The one thing I would say that I really enjoy, there's 2 things, and then I'll pass it to you guys. I really enjoy when the trophies are a joke or not jokes, but like a quip or something sarcastic or funny, like you see it and it's like something and you're like, oh, that makes me laugh. Like I really like that. I like that people take the time, almost like an Easter egg, to do that kind of stuff. Whatever the score is, whether it's 5 points or 200 points, I really appreciate that attention to detail. And then the second thing that I think has been a really nice addition as of the more recent years is I like that they designate the more challenging achievements versus kind of the traditional ones. So like the ones where you get the diamond that said only 5% of people have done this. Again, I'm not an achievement. I'm going to use the word achievement whore. I'm not that person. But I think it's cool when you get that. And you know, as much as I am never going to get to 227,000, you know, I still check my gamer score, and I appreciate getting those little achievements here and there. And I think it is a great system. It's just not what motivates me to play games. So those are my 2 thoughts, and I will pass it over to you guys, and I'll just sit back and I'll see you in about 45 minutes.
Okay. So great thoughts, Jose. I agree. It is a cool addition, but it's become just so unhealthy for me at times. Like I literally became obsessed with getting 1,000 out of 1,000 on some games, like Lost Via Domus. I went and played that. There was a spree on 360 where I had to get Lost Via Domus. Yeah, I have that. Don't play it. And there was just a time where I was like, I have to get 1,000. I have to get 1,000. I have to get 1,000. I hate achievements now. I think that I don't like them. I don't, because here's the thing, guys. I wanted to play this game that came on Game Pass. It was, it was one of these side scrollers that just came out, released on Game Pass. I'll have to look it up in a second. I checked the achievements first. Horrible idea, because I noticed that a bunch of them were odd numbered achievements. Like Chance is he's 157, 03 or something like that, 1,000. That would annoy me if it didn't end in a 5 or a 10. Why would that annoy me, Jose?
Because you're A-type personality. Anyone? You want to get into the psychology of it?
So I'm not playing a game because I don't want those weird ass achievement scores on my gamer tag. Okay, I feel like achievements were cool. You brought up all the positives. Now I'm going to bring up some negatives. Like I said, it has deterred me from playing games. I have not played games because I'm like, oh, I feel like I have to get 1,000, or oh, I have to finish this off. It used to be if I really loved a game, I'll get the 1,000 out of respect. But then some of them, they turn into these grinds, or you have to find all of these treasures or these hidden items and have to follow these guides. And like for some psychopaths like Bubble Boy, who is going to pass me someday, that's fun to them. It's not fun to me anymore, guys. I don't like it. I have a problem. I'm admitting it right now to all of our listeners. I love achievements. I used to, but now I wish I could just turn them off. But I don't. I keep them on, you guys. I still have that dang achievement. You can turn off achievement pop-ups. I can turn them off and then I can never think about them again. But for some reason, I still have them on. One thing I would change about achievements before I turn it over to Chance, I think they need to match what PlayStation does with like getting a platinum. There should be an achievement at the end for getting 100% of the base game. That they need to change. And it should just be like, hey, you got 100% on this game. Similar, here's how many platinums or 100% you have. I think that should be priority one, and then have DLC separate, just like PlayStation does. I also, so that's a shout out to PlayStation, but if it wasn't for achievements, PlayStation wouldn't have trophies. So PlayStation was smart in adding it to their system and taking what Xbox did and then evolving it a little more. And I think that Xbox needs to evolve the achievements a little bit more. I think that would be huge.
I agree 100%. So,
to answer Cordy's questions, yes, Court, I think it does deter me from playing games sometimes, and it sucks. And I think ultimately, I think it's a good thing, like Jose did say, but I also think it can be a bad thing if people get too obsessed. And in the end, like, I know this is on me and this is my problem. You know, literally no one in the world cares about my 227,000 gamer score except for me. And possibly Chance, but
no, we all care. The listeners care. Like that's an achievement. It's not that you shouldn't be proud of it.
And I like that. You're right. Like it is cool to be like, yeah, it shows I beat this game on legendary. I beat this on hard. You know, you wouldn't get that before. People wouldn't believe you or whatever. And that's cool. But like in the end, they're all ultimately worthless. These are worse. This is like Reddit gold. You know, it's like just nothing. So. Sorry for my little rant there. I have a problem, guys. I'm admitting it right now on XRT number 9.
So any therapists out there that are listening, hit Diwali up for some conditioning.
And like with PlayStation, like my trophies are. I have more platinums than Chance, by the way. Go ahead, Chance. Let's hear your overall thoughts.
Yeah, and I'll start with the cons. I do agree they've gotten stagnant. Like they added the diamond one, right? Like. Did that come with
which is cool, and I like the noise.
Xbox One, yeah. I wish they were more dynamic. They're just kind of there, and I think different developers. You can tell different developers treat them differently. Some developers do not care about them at all. Other developers absolutely do, and Playground Games is one.
And then
that
some.
I think,
let me interrupt. They go too far. They make you do a lot sometimes.
Yeah. I think Playground Games is one that, like all things, does it perfect. All of their achievements are tied to getting you started, getting you going, and then the pinnacle of what would be hard, right? And you can get most of them. And the other thing they do is they track them well. So the achievement tracker for Mass Effect Legendary Edition did not work. It only worked in-game, and only for Mass Effect 2 you could get there on the Normandy. For Playground Games, you can see it, and you can even put it up on your HUD, right? And so I wish Microsoft would kind of micromanage that a little bit more and say, look, guys, just try to put a little more effort into this.
Or standardize it a little bit.
Yeah, something. And they need to, the platinum thing, they need to do that. That's just dumb that they don't. And a way to sort them by DLC. So when I booted up Fortune Island the other day and wanted to search for just the Fortune Island ones, I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So but they do. I do enjoy them. And if there's one that I don't want to get, I just don't get it, right? And I think one of the biggest lies we've ever heard on XRT is to think that Daddy Diwali doesn't like them. I think the only reason he plays video games anymore is so that I won't surpass him on achievement score. He doesn't even like video games. He won't say that on the record, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Chance got me, you guys. This is just a cover, just so he doesn't pass me. No, you're gonna pass me. Like, it's just inevitable. It drives me insane. But you have good points. I do hope they evolve it. It's a problem on me, like not playing certain games for achievements. I know you haven't played games for certain achievements, Chance, or you've been like deterred. That I know that ending in 3 or 1 or 2 or something would annoy you.
Oh, it does.
Thank you.
It does. And I've searched. I've like gone and what games can I
to find
buy
certain achievements
that are worth 3 points? Because what am I at? I need to look it up now.
No, I did that once. I did unlock an achievement randomly. I can't remember what game I was playing where it was random, and thankfully I unlocked enough to where it got me back to 5 somehow, and I was like, oh, thank God.
But I think you're at a weird
anyway,
number
guys, I have a problem.
No, you're at a weird number right now too. I'm sure of it.
No, I'm not.
I think you are. So I'm at 149, 114.
Ooh, 114, guys. Drive me insane.
And Daddy D.
Ending in a 4. I'm not.
I think you were like a 3 or a 7, man.
July 3rd.
I can't tell. I'm not.
No, hey, while he's looking that up, one last thing. Do you know what the highest gamer score in the world is? I just looked it up.
It's like millions.
2.8 and change.
Oh my God. Wow.
And then in that there's no way that person enjoys games. There's also no way that's just one person.
They're grinding
yeah,
too.
But let's not judge, because I know both of you have probably played a game that was easy points to get on your gamer score at some point. Chance comes to mind, like wrestling. It was one of the wrestling medias that he was like, it was only like 10 things. You just had to do things, and I beat it. I got 1,000 on 1,000. I remember that conversation.
That is so funny. It was a platinum. Yes, that is so funny, Chapo. Of course, good old days. Segue right into the next topic.
Yeah, next story. Thanks for writing in, Court. The last write-in we have for this week. Again, you can reach us at any time, you guys. If you'd love to be a part of the show, please write to us at xboxrecordthis@gmail.com. We'd love to get some more more listener inquiries here. We have the good old days memories, one of my favorite segments. So this week, Rock Quarry writes in again with the question about, not achievements, about the good old days and co-op. Hey, XRT gang. Sorry I couldn't make it to record with you guys for the E3 reactions. I took a page from the boys over at Playground Games and took a sweet vacation to Mexico. I know you're all jealous, but back to Xbox. What are some of your all-time favorite co-op memories? One fun memory I have is Miso Pony taking me through Halo 3 and getting me the skulls for better armor. The skulls were tough, but fun. Keep up the good work, boys. Thanks, XRT. So, Jose, why don't we go? I'm going to swing it over to you, and I'll save mine for the last. What are some of your favorite co-op memories? We kind of mentioned this before, but I kind of did some throughout the journey of consoles, so I'd love to hear what.
I'll happily share those. One thing I do want to share real quick, though, if you don't follow Rock Quarry, you can find him at Rock Quarry 9 on a bunch of social media. He actually posted a sweet video cut that he did from his trip to Mexico that looks legit, actually. So if you
it did.
you did a great job,
that was
man.
good.
So
I saw that
to
too.
Corey for that.
Very well done, Corey.
With regards to the question, so the obvious answer to this goes back to when you played couch co-op, right? Like when you were like the Super Nintendos and stuff. And I know we've already talked about those with the Joe and Max and the Turtles in Time. So I tried to leave those out. Obviously, those are going to be big memories as well, but just keep that in mind. But the 3 that I came up with, one that was more recent actually was playing Overcooked 1 and 2. Overcooked is a co-op game. If you've never played it, it's on the Games Pass store, where basically you're a chef and you have to deliver ingredients and make little ingredients in a certain time. And you can play couch co-op, which is kind of uncommon in today's age. And I actually played it with my wife. And my wife, for those that don't know, is not a gamer, though she does fully support my gaming. She even put it in our wedding vows and stuff. She just doesn't play games like I do. And so there was one time where she was like, let's play games together. And we found this game, and she actually loved it. We beat both games. And it's super like frantic. There were definitely levels that were hard and frustrating. It took us a couple weeks to get through them all, but super fun. So check out Overcooked 1 and 2 if you're into that. The other one that I think of, going back a little bit further, was in college. If you don't know this, so I went to the University of Northern Colorado. It's the Harvard of the West out here in Colorado.
Harvard of the West.
Go
Harvard
Bears.
of the West.
But when I first moved into my first dorm as a freshman, all the dorms were basically giant LAN parties, because that's just how they were wired at the time. And there was obviously not firewalls and all kinds of stuff because it was too early. And so I remember so distinctly doing multiplayer in a room that was across the hall from another room. And so like my whole team of 4, my squad of 4 could be playing on this one TV, and then we were playing against another squad of 4 that was on the other TV. And it was just a closed system multiplayer, but it was so much fun, hours and hours of gaming and stuff. And at the time, as silly as it was, you could also change your name on the fly. So you could change like your screen name. And so we would pick themes and have fun, and obviously inappropriate stuff. That was awesome. Great multiplayer memory. And then the last one, I'm going even further back, was GoldenEye, a game that we have not touched on a whole lot on XRT. And I know D-Wally thinks it's overrated. I was getting there. But I can tell you there were many, many good memories at my house, at friends' houses playing GoldenEye. And I think one of the biggest things was it was the first games that had some cheats and mods that were significant. I think about like the rainbow colored paintball mode and stuff like that, where you could like draw on the walls with the paintballs and stuff. And in hindsight, it was such bad graphics and stuff. It was so bad. But it was fun, man. And it was kind of the first of its kind, the 4-player multiplayer on the screen and stuff like that. The golden gun, all those kind of things. So those were my top 3 that I thought of for some good multiplayer memories.
Yeah, that's hilarious too, because I also came up with 3, and Chapeau, 2 of them matched your exact one, which was the LAN parties. I can't think of I don't remember much about college, obviously, other than those LAN parties
and reading books.
They were.
Huh? Oh, well, that's because he attended Regis.
They don't even have a football team.
Football team in the nation. No, I thought we did it all with a football. Anyway, they were just. I hesitate again. I've said this a few times today. I hesitate to think of what would ever be that monumental for our kids, right? Like, because they're just so used to things being connected and being right at their fingertips. I don't know that they'll have something, and they'll have tons of amazing memories themselves and TikTok and stuff like that. But like, man, those dorm room Halo 2 and Halo, I wish you could have tracked the hours, or maybe you could, and I didn't, but I can't even imagine what they were. The second one was the GoldenEye, and because we did, and again, that we haven't given a lot of love to that, but I can always remember playing that over at Chapeau's house on the N64, and I loved being, oh gosh,
Odd Job?
I'm drawing a blank. Odd Job, of course, sorry. Odd Job, yep, the little guy. And not because you had a distinct advantage, but because he was the little guy, and I wanted to be the little guy. And then the last one, the one I thought of that was different, was a game that is in no way co-op, but I've talked about before how my older brother Chase and I turned Final Fantasy VII into a co-op, where he did all the fun battles and I did the purchasing of items and materia. So that was kind of cool, because that was back in the day when you kind of had to make your own, right? So
yeah. No, I like that, and I have a lot of memories with my brother. You'll hear here in a second. I wanted to go back to the oldest co-op memories I have. I remember playing Super Mario World with Jason Kane and Andy Ward, my neighbors that I grew up with, and I feel like that was the first time I'd ever experienced any kind of co-op, just switching controllers, because you can't play at the same time, but you can take turns. And then the first co-op experience might have been Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, playing that brawler. Well, maybe you could play that on Nintendo, one of the older Turtles games.
Yeah, the impossible one, the first one.
Co-op.
Make it to one freaking cage and
beat
die.
That first level. That was it. Exactly. Go ahead.
Has anybody ever beat that?
Probably that guy with the 2.8 million gamer score probably did.
Seriously,
does anybody we know?
Point. Yeah.
No.
Okay. The game was impossible.
Okay.
So moving on, like Chance said, gaming with his brother. The next one I remember is just right up here. I remember when our basement wasn't finished. So XRT, little inside here, I actually bought my parents' house that I grew up in as a child, and it's completely remodeled and renovated and everything now. But thank you, Jose. So the one thing I do remember is we had a little TV set up in this corner in our unfinished basement. Me and my Miso pony playing Kirby's Dream Land, like late at night, having like a little slumber party with my bro. Like I'll never forget that. Like that was the first time I have like memories of bonding with him, because my brother is 6 years younger than me, so we were like quite a distance apart. So when he can get into gaming, that was kind of a big deal. So shout out to Miso Pony. Hopefully he'll listen to this someday. Probably not. And then the next co-op again, you guys hit Halo Combat Evolved with Mike Cito and his unfinished basement changed my life, made me an Xbox fan. I love Halo. And also going along with Cito and Jack, shout out to Jack McAuliffe and Mike Cito, Madden co-op franchise, the last glory days of playing Madden. Yeah, respect. Shout out to the good old days of playing Madden co-op franchise with your friend on the same team, both playing offense, both playing defense. It's 2021, you guys. My God, that makes me really depressed that I can't do that with Chance right now. We could literally be on the Chiefs together. Oh, that would never happen.
You'd have to be the Lions because you can't agree on a team.
No, we'd have to. Yeah, I would pick like the Browns, or I'd always pick bad teams and up and coming. So even though the Browns are legit. So shout out to Madden. That makes me. I'm actually getting really sad right now, guys, thinking that we can't play Madden co-op. This is depressing. And then the last big co-op memory I have, again, shout out to my brother Miso Pony. Recently, we've been going through the Halo Master Chief Collection. We played through when that came out. We played through all the campaigns together. And just last year, me and him started playing them again to get ready for Infinite. So hopefully, we'll get back to that. But as you know, Pony's going to be distracted here in a couple months, but I'll leave that to him to share. So thank you again to Rock Quarry. Shout out. Make sure you guys follow him at Big Time Babble.
Rock Quarry 9.
Twitter. He's a big fan of the show, and we appreciate the submission for this week. And now we all know this is Chance and Jose's favorite part of the show. They don't care about video games. We're talking about the best food we had this week. I'm going to go first here, boys, because I know you probably blow me away. I remember Chance had some fancy meal.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that too.
So first, I'm going to start with the Dunkaroo cereal. I'm going to give this an overall, this is an 8 out of 10. Delicious.
What?
This is better than the Funfetti cereal. Did you have it? Have you had it before, Jose? You didn't like it?
I thought Dunkaroos were disgusting as a kid.
What? Oh, okay, guys, I'm ending the call. You've been demoted to assistant to the assistant to the
now,
co-host.
Victoria makes her own homemade Dunkaroos fantastic. They are delicious.
Oh, my God. Okay, Dunkaroos, you guys, phenomenal. And this is like where you dip the vanilla cookie into the vanilla icing. That's what this is based off of. This is like Funfetti. Who doesn't like Funfetti? Psychopaths. Okay, so delicious. I recommend them. You need to try them. These are better than the Funfetti cereal. They're basically like Cookie Crisp, only with the Funfetti. Old school Cookie Crisp, like where they get soft. Like these are good. These are good, you guys. Worth your time. Also, shout out, I had Noodles and Company, the barbecue mac and cheese. If you guys don't get that at Noodles, you're doing something wrong. Phenomenal with the brisket and the barbecue and the little jalapenos they put on there. And oh my gosh, that blew me away. It was perfect because we went out as a family. We were all eating there, and I couldn't have had a better meal. And then lastly, huge shout out to Virgilio's. Virgilio's is an Italian restaurant. Allie and I, and actually Jose, I think you were there too. You came, right? We got married. Yeah, that's where we went for our first.
So I love their pizza, dude.
It's so good. Virgilio's, you guys, it's off of Kipling and 470. Anyone who's in Colorado, go to Virgilio's. Fun. It blew me away. Their service, we were talking last week or a couple weeks ago about how the pandemic has affected service and food. Theirs is shot up, and it was amazing, on point. They put us, actually, Jose, in the same room where we were when we got married in that's awesome, area. Dude. And the service was on point. The food was on point. I didn't get gypped. It was cooked delicious. I get the chicken fettuccine, pro tip, chicken fettuccine Alfredo, and you get a personal pizza with it. Amazing. Yes, I did. And I got the barbecue. I got the barbecue chicken because that's one I always have to try it. I love it. It's really good there. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think that because they're serious about their Italian food. Delicious. Grayson got a personal cheese. I had some of his too. Phenomenal. I hadn't had their plain cheese before. Oh, shout out to Virgilio's. Their service and their food, phenomenal. They're doing something right over there, you guys. Unlike other restaurants I've been to, they're just knocking it out of the park. So let's save Chance for last because I know he's very excited to talk about his 10 out of 10 last meal. Chapeau Bear, what did you have? What was the best food you had this week?
So I had a quick snack that I got to talk about, and then I'll talk about my favorite one. So the quick snack was actually at the wedding I was talking about. We had a wedding yesterday, family wedding up at Mount Vernon Country Club. Beautiful view. If you've never been up there, if you're in Colorado, go check it out. And shout out to Skylar and Anna. Skylar is our nephew and his beautiful wife. They got married yesterday. But
where was that though?
Mount Vernon Country Club.
Yeah,
it's like up I-70, little just past Genesee a little bit. Yeah, it's not too far from Denver. But as the part of their appetizers, they had fried chili relleno bites that were amazing. They're basically like, think of like a wonton skin with chili and cheese inside, and then you dipped it in green chili. Literally, like the waiters were like, "Sir, you've had enough. You don't have to keep taking them." They were delicious, but and literally all my like brother-in-laws were like, "Did you get some of the bites?" I was like, "I've already had too many." They kicked me out. They were awesome. So that was one. The other thing that when we a little harken back to our childhood, when Chance used to sleep over at my house, my dad used to make us pancakes. Like that was like a traditional thing that I don't know why it started, but like he just knew every morning he was going to make us little mini like silver dollar pancakes. And there were a couple of times where we had blueberry ones, and so I don't know why on a whim this week, my daughters woke up one morning and they were like, "What do you want?" I was like, "What do you want for breakfast?" I said, "Pancakes." I was like, "Cool." I was like, "You know what? I'm going to make you blueberry syrup." I don't know how to make blueberry syrup, but I was like in the mood and promised them and looked it up and found an easy recipe. It's actually pretty easy to make. And so that was really cool. Just it reminded me of Chance, right? And that time together with your kids, but also just a good breakfast. And then my favorite thing that we had was actually this morning we went to Snooze for breakfast. Snooze is a restaurant that's real popular in Denver, but like freaking hour to 2 hour waiting list at every freaking Snooze that you go to. And I was actually meeting some old college friends I hadn't seen in a couple of years. And so we met there and it was delicious. I had an bacon omelet. Can't complain about that. It was just really, really good, but just always a bummer how long it takes, man. And there's multiple of them. It's not like they're small restaurants, like they're big restaurants. It's just everybody freaking goes there. So, shout out to Snooze because I do really like them, but definitely hate waiting for sure. So that's mine. Bubble Boy, what do you got?
I want to reiterate the shout out to Big Jose, the Josecito, for the blueberry syrup. I still, to this day, every time I'm in any sort of supermarket and I see blueberry syrup, whoever I'm with, I tell them that story. Big Jose used to. That's the OG. That's where that comes from. I don't think they made it before him. So anyway, okay. All right. Let me see if, for those of you who tune in, so this is a picture of what I ate from the wonderful Yard House, right? And it's hard to have a bad experience at the Yard House.
I didn't know it was Yard
House.
House.
And I even quizzed everybody on the nerd chat, and nobody answered, which is fine. So this was the Memphis Hot Honey Chicken, and they have a sandwich that comes with fries. And I tell you what, Ashley's like, "Oh, that's what Chance is getting. He's a sandwich guy. Like that's what he's gonna get." And I was like, I'm going for something different this time. And because they came with sweet potato pancakes, and when the waiter came up, I was like, "Yeah, I think I want to get these." And
this sounds incredible.
Oh my God! And and he said the exact same thing I said to Ashley. He's like, "I'm usually a sandwich guy. This is the right choice for you." Those pancakes and the pickles they come with are top notch. And so I get it. The chicken just perfectly crispy and crusty. The sauce, or the hot Memphis, whatever the sauce that was on it, I can't even describe. Like, it's so much better than any sort of hot sauce I feel like I've ever had. Just perfectly cooked, perfect thickness. It was juicy. And then I bit into those sweet potato pancakes. And he was like, "Oh, they're kind of like our take on chicken and waffles." And I was like, "Okay, we'll see." Those sweet potato pancakes, speaking of pancakes and syrup, I would eat those every single day without syrup. Like, there was no syrup needed. You had the little hot honey on the side in a little cup that you could pour on it. But I was like, you don't even need these. Simply the best meal I can think of in recent memory. Absolute 10 out of 10, masterpiece. I'm literally like trying to think back and I can't. I'm sure there's another one in there somewhere, but in terms of taste, cost, ambiance, when you put all that together, it was at the start of my summer vacation. We had just come from the Lego store, so always fun. Tell me I've had a better meal and I might believe you. Like, even the Melting Pot, which is typically my favorite restaurant, like I think it caught me by surprise too, was the other thing. Like, I assumed I was going to be getting a good meal, but it was the best I've had in who knows how long. So The next time anybody's around a Yard House, stop what you're doing, pull off, pull in, order the Memphis hot honey chicken. Don't get the sandwich, go for the plate. You'll thank me later.
Word up.
Shout out to Yard House, guys. I'm gonna have to go to Yard House
And
tomorrow.
Diwali, and I'm telling you, and because I had the short ribs, I was like, short ribs, we'll do them. I'll play it safe. We'll go with that. And then I just kept scrolling down, and I was like, it's time for something different.
Yeah, gotta mix it up.
Sounds fantastic, dude.
Just glorious.
I can't wait. Well, you heard it here first, guys. What was it called again, Chance?
Memphis hot honey chicken.
Memphis hot honey. Shout out to Yard House. Shout out to Virgilio's. Shout out to these catering that Chipotle had with the
bites, baby. Chili relleno bites, phenomenal.
La Loma's also does chili relleno, mini chili rellenos.
Oh,
sounds good. Well, guys, we're at the end of XRT number 9. We are going to skip the controllers. I know you're probably going to say that again, Jose. Skipping the controllers. I didn't make mine. I just want to give a quick shout out to the Xbox merch store. I got my new Xbox logo shirt. I need you guys to start getting on brand here and getting some
you don't
merch.
even have any shirts.
So
you're going to ask me to design your shirts. I already know.
what do you mean? This is my... Oh, no, I meant Xbox just branded shirts.
He's showing his controller.
Not XRT.
I didn't do
I
that.
see your controller. I'll show you mine later.
We'll do it next time.
So we're going to do the
10th
custom
episode.
controllers. So yes, there we go. We're about to hit number 10. So that means we're officially going to buy ads, right, for the podcast, right, guys? You said you guys were going to contribute.
Yeah,
I think
I'll
that's what Jose said.
contribute.
He said he was going to pay
I want
for
an
ads.
XRT shirt.
I might have... Okay, let's not get crazy at merch until...
Not to get crazy. How about we could wear merch, though, as the hosts of the show?
Wear Xbox merch. Look at this. This is cool. No, we should. But what was I going to say, Jose? I might have to have Jose... I was going to ask you, Jose, and I guess I could ask this on the air right now. Would you want to create a new intro sound for our podcast? Because I just used the Xbox boot up, and I don't even know if that's legal or not. I was just wondering if you wanted to do some sort of quick little musical number for us, or incorporate the achievement popping noise with the Xbox boot up.
Let me think about it. Maybe not. Let me think about it while I'm on vacation.
Or if you like what I use, it's fine too, because I think it sounds pretty sweet. But or I'm going to hire you to edit the video since this takes forever to edit. So do you guys have anything special going on this week? Or happy 4th of July again.
Happy birthday, America.
American
listeners. I'm excited. I'm going to try both the Reposado and Blanco Terramana tequila, the Rocks tequila. I finally picked the 2 of those up. Going to try those tomorrow. So hopefully those make the show next week, and I can tell you all about them.
Nothing like celebrate America with some Mexican tequila.
But right,
and speaking,
I mean that's the America I know.
Speaking of celebrity tequila, I also chanced randomly, and I know nobody will care about this, but I got a limited batch tequila from Stephen Jenkins. He made his own tequila. He's the lead singer at Third Eye Blind. It's actually called the Summer Gods, and it looks pretty sweet. I should show you the bottle, but I've been specifically saving it, so I'll let you know how that turns out. And I also got a random other tequila because I had to order it online to get it shipped out, so I had to hit a certain number to get the free shipping. So I got some other tequila.
No, that's really cool. So, maybe just a thought, if the wives allow it, maybe episode 10 is we're all together and we can sample these tequilas or something. I would love that. Somewhere in the middle. Like
I tried to get Allie
house.
to be on the show tonight.
Yeah, or Dan's. I haven't been to Dan's house yet. He's just up in Green Mountain, so go check it out.
Yeah,
I'm not that far. Maybe we should.
I don't know if they're going to want to sit around for 2 hours while we're just in a room, though. They'll be with the kids.
The fact, you guys can go back and play in the basement with Dan. Go down there. Any other big plans, you guys?
Yeah, we leave Tuesday for a vacation. We'll be back Saturday. We're doing 4 days in San Diego, which will be fun.
Oh wow!
Doing Legoland, the zoo, and my wife and I, thanks to our Biden bucks, spent a ridiculous amount of money on a private tour before the zoo opens, where you get to do all the big cat things with like a docent, and then it ends with us getting to actually meet a big cat. I don't know what big cat.
Oh my!
But if it's a tire, I'm gonna poop my pants. I'll be super honest, because like They're scary, dude. Like, it sounds like such a good idea. Like, oh yeah, let's meet a lion, let's meet a tiger. And then when you're there, like, this is a bad idea. We shouldn't be doing this. But my daughters are very into cats, for all the listeners out there, like ridiculously into. It's a micro obsession. We looked it up. It's a real thing for kids.
Well, you have a great cat, though. That's why.
Freaking Nacho. He was the one meowing earlier Nacho, that you're like, someone get that cat out of here.
I've got you. I love our cat. Wow. Well, I can't beat that, you guys. Paul Bear is going to go on an amazing vacation.
Yeah, thank you, guys. We'll have updates next Sunday for sure.
For sure. As always, you can follow the show at Xbox Record This across various social media. If you'd like to write the show, please write to xboxrecordthis@gmail.com. Love to get those viewer submissions, so appreciate that for all those listeners.
Yeah, because I think we have a clear winner for the Halo blocks. I forget what they're called even. The Halo Lego knockoff.
Because
Mega Blocks.
No, because the month just started. It just started this month, so if you'd like to get your submissions, we're starting it for July.
Goose is running away with this one so far. You're going to have to bring the heat screenshots if you want to beat Goose.
So if you'd like to submit your Xbox Record This moments, please submit your screenshots at that email. Chipotle Bear, where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Chipotle Bear on Instagram or Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. Always reach out. Happy to chat with the fans.
And Bubble Boy?
Yeah, you can't really find me on any social media, but you can find that the handle Bubble Boy N7 is taken by me on all social medias. So.
And I just want to give a shout out, you guys. I got one new follower last week. Did you guys get the
Did your mom get Twitter?
Xbox enthusiast. Shout out to you for following me. We got a new follower. It's probably another bot. I got another bot follower for best deal search, but I'll take it, you guys. That's 2 new followers for the shows.
Hey man, from small seeds do mighty trees grow, right? So it's got to start somewhere.
That, you know what, a wise man right there, Chipotle Bear. And with that, guys, as always, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at Daddy Diwali on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.